properties that are out there, how we do a quick analysis so you can see what's live, properties that you can actually go after right now that are available. And we're going to start out here in the Chicago suburbs. There's one area I've really been focusing in on for the last couple of years, and it's the Homewood-Flossmoor area. So Homewood, the town of Homewood, Flossmoor, Olympia Fields, Glenwood, some of those areas we've been focusing in on. And I want to find a deal there today, and we're going to do that right now. So let's kind of dive in. I'm going to head into the general Homewood area here. Let's just start looking for some properties. And it looks like there is a few that are coming up. We've got Flossmoor on this side here. We've got Homewood, and then we get into Glenwood, which is right here, which is also Homewood-Flossmoor Schools. Sections of it are in the Homewood-Flossmoor Schools, and that's in high demand. So for us investors, we're going to focus in on looking at a property. There's a number of homes that are available at all different price ranges, but I'm just going to kind of look for something that our investors would be interested in. So I've got a property here. This is in Glenwood. Let's open this property up, and it's with the Homewood-Flossmoor Schools. This one is what looks to be a ranch, but I really got to kind of dive in a little bit deeper. Looking at these photos here, there's limited photos because they're bank-owned properties, and so the listing agent or the bank itself does not do too much on finding or providing us with photos. But I'm looking at this one image here. It looks like there's a window a little higher up, an above grade window. This potentially could be below grade. How I can look at that very quickly, I just zoom down to Street View, and I am looking at the property from the street. Let's take a look here. Yep, this is a tri-level. It's not a ranch. So the front photo looked like a ranch. We're dealing with a tri-level, which is great. That's going to be probably worth a little bit more as a result. So now let's scroll back up to the top of some of the details about this property. 1026 West Iowa Street in Glenwood. I do know that this is HF Schools, so that's very attractive for us as an investor. That's in high demand. The bedrooms, 3-bed count, 1 bath. Now, because it's a tri-level, that doesn't necessarily mean it's only 1 bath. A lot of times, the banks, when they get these properties back, they neglect to put the second full bath that's in the lower level. I don't know that on this house, if it is or it is not. Also, square footage. Square footage is something that is really not necessarily accurate on properties. So in this case here, we have 1,269 square feet. Because it's a tri-level, I can almost guarantee you this is like 1,600 to 1,700 square feet. So knowing that, it could be 2 baths. It definitely is larger in square footage. Now what I want to do is kind of look at my comps in the area. And one thing when you're looking at comparable sales, you want to really try to zone in on your neighborhood. So the subject property is located right here, 1026 West Iowa. There's a major street here, and I don't want to use properties on the other side of the street, to the east of this property. Nor do I want to pull properties that are south of 187th, because that's kind of another major road. And that's where Google Street View will really help you kind of get familiar with what's the neighborhood like, where does the neighborhood start and stop. But within this little quadrant we're kind of looking at here, from the major road here and the major road at the south, we want to try to look at properties in this area. But I know this area really well. I've been doing this a long time. We've got some Homewood properties that are in here, Homewood address. Then we have properties that are in Glenwood that are over in this area here. So I really want to be using properties that are located in Glenwood with Homewood-Flossmoor Schools, since the subject property is located in that particular area in Glenwood. So there's a sale that occurred here. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath at 1,425 square feet. This is a raised ranch. That's going to be similar to the subject. Let's look at something else in the area. Again, I want to be pulling properties west of the main road, and that's because I want to make sure that I'm looking at homes that are in our subdivision and going to be in the same schools and all that type of stuff. But this other property that we have here, This is one that's under contract. Okay, so this is in our subdivision. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,309 square feet. And as we can tell, it's been nicely renovated on the inside. It's nothing special. It's just kind of your typical renovated home that you would find. But a big thing is I can tell from the photo it's a 1-car garage. So I go down a little bit further, and I want to know some details on this property. 1,309 square feet. It's under contract at $199,900. The price per square foot is $152. 3 beds, 2 baths, 1-car garage. 1 story doesn't mean a lot to me because it's a tri-level. Days on market. So it was on the market only 43 days. That's a short time to be on the market. So just kind of keep that in mind. We want to be watching for DOM, days on market, because that tells us how long did it take this investor to sell that property or get it at least under contract. And so that was pretty quick. So this is a good comp. This is a property I want to be using as a comp to ours after ours is all fixed up, cleaned up. I would say we were going to look very, very similar to this, maybe a little different in color scheme, but very, very similar overall. So this property is a good comp. I like that one. I'm going to just go ahead and close that out. And I'm going to look at another comp that's in the neighborhood. So there's this property on Arizona. This particular property sold and is closed. Again, it's a nice, clean property, not totally updated. It's got some older kitchen cabinets and some older brass and vanities and things like that, but a nice and tidy house. And this one sold for $203,000. This one's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,425 square feet. It's a raised ranch. A raised ranch I compare very, very similar to a tri-level because the lower level area is below grade, meaning its lookout windows, and below that is below the windows is below grade. So very similar how a tri-level is. And this one, again, 1,425 square feet. Sold for $203,000. Price per square foot came out to $142 a square. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage like us. Built in 1967, and days on market was 76 days. So not too bad. This one is another good comp. So going back to the subject property, 1026 West Iowa. We have 2-car garage. I can see that. We likely, if we don't right now, it's only truly 1 bath, and the bank got it right when they listed the property. I'm going to probably add another bath into this property. I'm going to make it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, so I can get into that 190 range as a value on the property, all fixed up, cleaned up. Now, I'm limited on the photos, so I got to make a quick analysis on what is it going to take to get a property like this renovated. Looking at it, probably doing exterior work, interior updates. It's not a disaster. It's just dated. I'm going to probably assume around $55,000 for renovation on a property like this. So if I could buy it for around $80,000, put $55,000 in renovation, and sell the property for about $190,000, I've got myself a pretty darn good deal. So this is something that I'm definitely interested in because that's going to leave my investor a profit of around $35,000 to $40,000 after all expenses, after all closing costs, everything involved in it. So this is definitely a property to take a look at, this 1026 West Iowa. So, but as always, reach out to me if you have an interest in this specific property or any other properties that we have that are coming in every day. We're getting new deals every single day. I'd be more than happy to help guide you through on why we like this particular property, explain a little bit more of our process, and join me every day. Follow us Facebook Live. I'm going to be doing this daily with our clients, so you guys can see what deals are kind of our daily deals and what's hot, what's not, and get to know the areas a little bit better. Just become a little bit more of an educated investor so you're making better decisions on what properties to buy. And make sure to check out our website, chaseforeclosure.com. Thanks.